Hello, my name is BreeAnn Watson and I am in your online PRL 362 class, and recently we just completed the service learning project. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and reflect on my experiences with both of my groups and talk about what worked, what didn't work, what we did, how we got there, what I did on my part, what they did on their part, and then in the end I'm going to wrap up and talk about what worked and how I'm going to apply that for my future career as a PR person, and talk about the experience that I've gained from this project. Okay, so to start off with, we all were separated into two different groups, and from my understanding, some of us had multiple people in our groups, some only had one. There was a lot of mixture of both. So I actually got paired with two different groups, and my group one, I got paired with one girl, and her name is Patricia Beatty. And my second group I got paired with four other people, and their names are Braxton Lamb, Catherine Siegel, Cassandra Fulcher, and Olivia Klein. So I'm going to take a couple minutes here and I'm going to talk about each group, and I'm going to break it down into, I'm going to talk about group one, and I'm going to go through our experiences, and then I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to talk about group two, and I'm going to talk about our experiences so I don't get them both confused and what we did and what we didn't do. And then in the end, I'm going to wrap up and conclude about both of them and the project in general. Okay. So, to start off with, for group one, me and Patricia were paired together. And so the first thing I did whenever we got paired together is I got her email off the USI email. And I was a little nervous at first because she didn't respond very quickly. I think it was a week until I first heard back from her, and I actually remember I gave you a phone call because I was concerned, and luckily we didn't have to escalate to any alternatives because she did respond eventually, and once she finally responded, it started becoming more rapid, and definitely gave me more confidence in this project. I'm not really the biggest fan of group projects just because you just never know what you're going to get, especially when you're paired with random people from different classes that you don't know at all. But they also can be very beneficial if you get the right people and a really great experience, and they can be really fun. So I want to start off with, I pulled up some of our emails to show you. What I want to say first before we go into these emails is Patricia was a very, very easy person to work with. The only problem that I did have with her is she did not want to communicate outside of emails. She didn't want to give me her phone number. She didn't want to meet in person. She didn't want to call. She didn't want to text. And that's not to say that the emails didn't work. The emails did work. There's something about having phone numbers, I think, that gives you maybe like some satisfaction that if I need to talk to you, immediately about something, I can probably call you or text you. So that made me a little nervous too, but she did email me back pretty quick. So as you can see here, I have some emails between us. And basically what these emails explain is, so I emailed her and I told her, and she laid it out for me, and she told me that she wanted to do a question and answer with at-risk youth population that were in a juvenile detentional facility. Whenever we first started doing this, I honestly kind of had the wrong idea what we were doing, and I didn't understand really that they were being detained. So the first thing I told her was to maybe do something like encourage them, and that was wrong because you don't encourage someone who's being detained. You try and help them, but you don't encourage them for their wrong actions. So we decided that the hardest part about this would be the confidentiality. We couldn't really explain a lot of things about the people that were in there, but you could explain what the product was, which was the question and answer part. So I told her that the biggest thing you need to do is make sure that you don't use any names. You don't use any names, and you talk more about the product that you're selling, not about the people that are inside of it. And I said, as far as the people who are inside of the question and answer place or inside the facility, you can encourage them to want to do this, and you can, try and maybe help them do better in their life. But you have to have that fine line of not getting too close and personal. And I told her that one thing I explained that was the biggest thing is that you have to have a plan for what can be talked about and what can't be talked about. So that is what we came up with together, and she helped me out more than I thought, because I thought I would be giving her more information, but in all, she gave me more insight of what this really was, because I've never had to deal with something like this before, so it was kind of confusing. But she never gave me any feedback. She never gave me any pictures, anything. So that's another thing that was kind of tough, is that I don't know what happened. I don't know what she did. I gave her my input, and she told me that she would apply it, and haven't really heard anything back, which I forgot to put that in my peer evaluation. But overall, the communication that we had together was really good, but there was no follow-up. And I think that kind of left me with a big question mark, but all in all, it was pretty good. Okay, so for group two was amazing. We all worked together very, very well. First thing I did is I put a big group email out, and then immediately Allie, I think it was, is who started a group message with all of us, and from there on it was just great communication. We all were talking back and forth. I would put in my ideas, and they would respond quickly, and they would take my ideas. And so we did the Ronald McDonald donation drive, and so we all got together, and they asked me, what I thought would be the best way, and I said, I think a flyer would be the best way to go about this, because there's no confidentiality. You don't have to be, super careful what you do, but you want to get your name out there, and you want to get word out there of what you're doing and who you are. So we got right on it, and they kept me updated, and I have some pictures that I want to show you. So this right here is a picture of the flyer that they made hanging on the social work wall. As you can zoom in right here, you see it right there. That is it hanging on the wall. I thought that was really cool, because it was you see all these flyers, and then you see the one that we created together, and then this is a close-up of what it is. And at first, it just had the words Ronald McDonald House Donation Drive, and I told her she needs to put in some dates and where it's going to be at and information. And if you have any more information, this is what you need to call, because sometimes you have that, and if there's nothing to follow up on, that could really hurt you in the end. So here's a better picture of that, and it has the name, where it's at, follow-up information. So this group worked out very, very well. Very helpful, all full of really good ideas. So to wrap things up, this was a really great experience. It was really good to work with other people, and to get our ideas out there, and to brainstorm. And if the only thing I could do if I did it differently was maybe to have more time, maybe to meet in person and to get to know people, because group projects, if they're good, you can meet some really good people and make some really good friendships, and that's something I would do differently. But something to take away and to gain from this experience is, on the PR aspect, is working with others. You are going to have a lot of people that you're going to have to talk to, a lot of people you're going to have to deal with, and some are going to be great, and some are not going to be great. And you have to deal with how are you going to handle those people that aren't so great. And even with the ones that are great, you're going to have to deal with how are we going to be organized? How are we all going to talk? How are we all going to communicate? We all started group messages. How are we going to keep all of our ideas organized? And how are we going to come up with the deciding factor? So this project was really beneficial to work with other people and to gain a lot of knowledge to help me in the in the future with my career, and hopefully for them too. So all in all, it was really fun, really fun. Good timing too. So I think it was a really, really good idea, and look forward to seeing what comes out of it. Thank you.